Greetings petrolheads, my name is the Tom, you're on my gaming channel, and it's time for another episode of Automation, the car company tycoon game. Now a long time ago, ETS2 Gaming requested me to build a Mitsubishi Evo X replica, and today's the day, man. Today's the day I'm gonna do it. It doesn't have a 3-meter wheelbase, and this is the closest body I think that you can have for it. So it's got a long bonnet, a pretty steep front window. The rear window is... I know that the roofline is not like accurate compared to a real Evo X, but I'll try to make up for it. And on the front we have a pretty aggressive angle like this, and yeah, we should probably flare the wheel out just a little bit, like so, because we do after all want some decent tires on this thing. And let me check for a second. What kind of tires is this thing running, and what kind of chassis does it have? It doesn't say. Okay. Well, it is most definitely a monocoque, and it's very likely to be aluminium, I think. The engine is mounted transversely. No, I think it's longitudinally. I'm gonna put it in longitudinally anyway, because I think that it's more likely that we can put a 2-liter in there, because with transverse all-wheel drive you really have very limited space for an engine in there, at least in the game. It probably uses the most clever suspension ever. No, not ever, but you get what I mean. Double wishbone front, multi-link rear is my biggest guess, I think. And let's go for aluminium. I don't really know whether or not it is made from aluminium. We want some wider tires than two. We probably want like 245s. Would be realistic, I guess. Anyway, now we're gonna go ahead and put on the fixtures that we can. And first of all, I'm looking for a specific grille. There it is. That one's gonna be the main grille. This one's already in the game if you haven't installed the mod pack. So yeah, no reason not to use this. And can you move this further down? No, not really. Okay, good. And besides that, we also have some pretty... Actually, we need to make this a little bit wider. We have some vents on here, on the bottom side of things. And they look yeah, well, I don't see any one that is particularly similar to them, but this one might be. Come on. Thank you. Maybe like so. Yeah, I think a little bit bigger, maybe. So, and then we need some fog lights in here. I'm guessing these ones would be best suited for that. And what else we got in this grill? Actually, not much more. Wait, let me check something. What does this do? Oh, okay. I don't want the red outlinings here though, but they would kind of punch a hole into this bar here, which is what I was going for. But I don't want the red outlinings, so that's because they are very distracting, I think. And so we're gonna get to the headlights, which are pretty easy to be made. In fact, we basically only have to choose these and turn them around, like so. And then we're gonna give it some indicators on this end. Yeah, I gotta be a little bit more precise here. I realize that. Or like so. And you know what? I'm gonna do my due diligence here, because who else would do it? And then throw it down like this, and then I think we're sitting pretty here as far as the headlights go. It does have some vents on the bonnet, and also a kind of a bonnet scoop. So what I'm guessing is I should probably make that as well, like here, and then that like right there. I think that looks kind of similar to an Evo 10, doesn't it? Okay, good. What kind of door handles does this thing have? Okay, first of all, it does have a white indicator, like there. Then it has door handles like these. Does it have a side indicator on the rear? No. Okay. Now to the back end. First of all, we need some of these to give us the basic shape that we're going after. Let me check for a second. How big are those? They're pretty big, but more long than high. So basically like this. Now what I'm gonna do is let me think about this for a second. Okay, give me a second here. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is we got these a little bit too big. So yeah, that's, wait a minute, and just for orientation purposes, I'm gonna put the badge down here and some of these, but smaller, right in the center here. Okay, now how we're gonna make these tail lights is pretty simple, and we're gonna make them by stretching one of these so that the entire vent is covered in, it's basically covered in red from the taillight. Also make sure that you have no more red taillight section outside of that vent. And try and adjust the size so it barely runs across the entire vent. Okay. And now, because we have still some areas where we don't want these, you know, outlines and the red section from the taillights, we're gonna cover those with some of these things. So I'm gonna try and make those parallel to the actual vent. So that it kind of overrides the outer edges from the taillights. And run one more down here like so. And then on the upper end, of course, we have to make some bigger adjustments. And of course, we're also gonna need to put down some lamps inside that whole taillight arrangement, because otherwise it wouldn't be an Evo 10. Good. Now we're getting closer to the more interesting part, I think. This one needs to go like here. And that one needs to be a little bit thicker. And a little bit longer. Like so. Good. Now we're also gonna put down one of these in order to cover this whole area up here, so that basically looks like body panels around the actual shape of the taillights. And that is exactly what I'm trying to go for here. So there is gonna be that. There's that. You see, now you can only see the red taillight shape that we actually want. Of course, I'm gonna have to be a little bit more precise with these things. Like so, and then just to round it up, gonna need some more around this edge of the taillights. Oh man, I think I can't put them down here. Ah. Actually, I can. Good. Now we have the shape that we need. Now it's time to put in the lightings. Okay, so we need one of these. Then two of these. No. Okay. Okay, let's just leave it where it is. Because it would be too cumbersome to get it out of here. There is that. And now I'm gonna try something, because I think that would be the most convenient option if this worked. And it does work. Okay, good. Those are gonna be the taillights. We of course need a wing. And I think the one most resemblant to the real one is actually probably a bigger version of this. Because it does have a really huge wing, this car. No, probably go for the smaller one anyway. Like that. Okay, and then for the rear bumper, wait a minute, let me look for a better picture of it. Okay, good. Yeah, so we're gonna do it by making one of these, stretching it all across. Oh, but not all across, it does end a little bit before the end here. Okay. And then we put basically one of these. No, wait. We're gonna put down one of those in order to fit the number plate. How far down does this go? Basically, right till the end. Right to the bottom. Wait, what? Okay. And let's delete this and put down that. I'm sorry, I can't do much about this whole thing. And then it has some exhausts like these, and they go like right there. Actually no, they go further out, like here. And then it also has the actual number plate on this whole arrangement here. And we have a little bit more diffuser parts in this whole rear bumper. Let me check. Okay, they do not go all the way up. They go more like this. And then we have one more. Good. So this is gonna be that. And then we also have some braking lights that are basically these. And no, not quite. More like so. And they go here. No, not here. They go further inwards, like there. And between that we have... let me try. I think we're gonna make this by putting down one of these and making it really thin. Okay, good. I think that's about as close as you can get to an Evo 10 in the game right now. And of course, well, not of course for me, but I'm also gonna build the engine today. This is an Evo 10, isn't it? Like, it does actually look like one, and I'm kind of happy with that. It is of course all-wheel drive, and I looked up the specs, and at least what I could find, it is an inline 4 of course, with aluminum block, 86 by 86 according to the wiki, dual overhead cams, 4 bars per cylinder, aluminum, no VVL, but variable valve timing, so VVT. I have no idea what the internals are, but I'm guessing kind of mid-range, so probably I-beam steel and forged. And we have a compression ratio of 9:1. Since, like, this is gonna be the one for the Japanese market, because they have a slightly different engine setup for each market. So this is gonna be the Mitsubishi Evo X, Japanese market, and this is going to be the, what's it called, the 4B11T. 4B11T Japan edition. Okay, good. We do have VVT, as I said. I couldn't find what kind of turbine size it has, how much boost it's running. I'm guessing, since it's making a good amount of torque, it's probably running more than 1 bar. And the torque, the max torque, is at 3,500 RPM, so we can't afford to put a huge turbine on there. It's probably like so, and maybe a little bit more AR ratio. Again, I couldn't find these specs, so this is just me guessing what it might be like. It is a multi-point EFI, kind of behind the 8 ball there a little bit, and it has does it have individual throttle bodies? I don't think, but it probably has a performance intake in order to generate the power that it's generating. It's on premium fuel. I'm gonna leave the fuel mixture at 13.5 for now, because I do think it's pretty realistic. And the red line is 7,000 RPM if I'm not mistaken. So we need to make 280 horsepower. I don't know what mufflers it's running, but let's give it a try. We're running way too rich. Is it really running a multi-point injection? No, wait. Well, fuel system ECI multiple. Electronically controlled injection multiple. So that's gotta be a multi-point injection, if you ask me. Whatever, I'm gonna give it some direct injection here, because it makes my life way easier. What is that? This part is restricting airflow. That is like what? Oh, wait a minute, there's the intake, there's the cams, there's the... That is the radiator, isn't it? We're making way too little performance though. So what we're gonna look at is we're gonna try and increase the AR ratio. Okay, now we really need to run more boost. $257. Like, why do we make so little power now? And why so little torque? I mean, power is 23 horsepower down, but we're missing like 70 Newton meters. That's a lot. How about this? 270, 340. We're down on torque now, interestingly enough. Please make the power at 6,500. Come on. I don't know how to fix this, but what I know is that I am way off. Probably gonna run it even richer and then maybe adjust the ignition timing. $6,600, 6,500. Okay. Okay, that was not a good idea. It only gave me like 3 horsepower, but not much on top of that. We cannot increase the compression ratio though, because the compression ratio is 9.0 to 1. So I don't know, is it really running that much boost? Like, it's gotta be running like 1.5 bars at least. I mean, it's an Evo, so it wouldn't be surprising. But yeah, kind of sucks that I have to take so much time here on the engine tuning. 390 horsepower. No, Newton meters, excuse me. I said the wrong thing. Well, what are we gonna do here now? I'm just gonna be content with when I reach 280 horsepower at 6,500 RPM. $282, 280, 281, 280. Okay, good. We're way down on torque compared to the real Evo 10, but we are making enough power, and the torque curve is probably relatively similar, although the torque is way higher at its max. But then, you know, the basic shape of the torque curve might be very similar to this one. Of course, it's not very economical. That's just how it goes when you're making so much power out of a small displacement. And it does come with a 6-speed manual as standard, if I'm not mistaken. Top speed? Probably more than that 215, I'm guessing. I don't know whether or not it reaches 100 kilometers an hour in second gear. I'm gonna gear it as if it would, and it has the most clever differential ever. So I'm gonna use an electric LSD here, and I'm gonna What's its power distribution? I think a little bit more in favor of the rear. So 45 to 55. It's coming on 17s if I'm not mistaken. With a lot of profile. The 235s probably is what we're looking at here. Maybe 245s actually. Sports tires, alloy wheels. Can't be wrong on that. Vented discs, because I don't think it comes on carbon ceramics as standard. Let's give it some 350s here. And some 320s in the rear. We have a downforce on the tray if I'm not mistaken. Is it an active wing? I don't think it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna... Well, we don't have a front wing anyway, so... We do have a back wing though, so... Let's give it a little bit of downforce. 220? That can't be right. Yeah, well, we're also making way too much cooling airflow, so... Gotta reduce that. A little bit of braking airflow, never hurt anybody. It's got pretty advanced aerodynamics, so I'm gonna give it a few quality points. Yeah, and all of a sudden we're looking at 265 top speed. And on the interior it's got 4 seats. Pretty standard interior and infotainment. All driver aids, including I think launch control. Standard safety. We'll just go with active sport, semi-active, and then the sport setup here, because I have no idea how it's actually set up. 1475. What does that? What is this in comparison to the real one? Let me see. Yeah, we're right in the range for the weight here. 10 liters per 100 kilometers is not that bad actually. And 0 to 100, 4.8 seconds. That is right on par. Right on par with where we should be. Airfield track. Under 130. With, like, considering it quote unquote only has 280 horsepower, that's nothing to sneeze at. What's its drivability at 49.6? That's a little low for what I would like. But anyway, I think we're done with this one. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button, it helps out a great deal. Also consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more content in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.